Greetings, everyone. Tim Anderson here, aka Renfell, and welcome to the latest episode of Monday Musings, where I talk about all of the various things going on in my life, whether it's books, shows, games, Project Dramond stuff, life, travel, so on and so forth. It has been a busy week last week, but a productive week. Busy, productive, good week. Um, let's dive in. So, first and foremost, I did finally finish. I believe it was last Sunday, Saturday or Sunday. I finished. I may have mentioned this in last Monday's episodes. I forget, but I did finish the first Mistborn novel, and I did a review this past week on the first novel, The Final Empire, and I'm currently a little bit into the second book in the series, Will of Ascension. I'm not very deep into it. One of the first things I noticed right away was that the chapters are much shorter. I also noticed there's like twice as many chapters, so I went online and looked, and it is a bigger novel by about I think something like 40,000 words or something like that at a quick glance. So obviously there is quite a bit more content, but yeah, a lot of the chapters are like a third of the size of the previous chapters, and I don't know that by word count. I know that just by time it takes me to read the chapters. It was like the first few chapters of the book were just page turners and it was done. And it was like, hang on a second. He used to make really big scenes and now he's done much shorter scenes for this book. So I don't know why. I don't know if I don't know if that's a Brandon Sanderson decision or if that was something that was um, at the behest of his editors. I don't know. I just know that this second book is a little different in terms of the layout. Um, I'll have more to report on that once I get done with the book. Don't anticipate that happening soon. It took me 2 weeks to get to the first one. This next one's a little bit bigger. If I can get it done by the end of September, cool. It would be nice to be able to read a couple books a month, so we'll see if I can hold to that. But if I want to get through it at a reasonable pace, I really need to sit down and read for like 3 hours a night. And I haven't been doing that because Chris and I have been doing other stuff the past few nights. Um, on the reading front, I already kind of have planned out at least the next series that I'm going to be reading after this one, which is a series that I haven't read in a very long time. It's called the Song of Albion series by Stephen R. Lawhead, and it's a this goes back to my childhood. This came out 91, 92, 93. So when I was 11, 12, and 13 were when these books came out. And it's a blend of Celtic paganism and he's a Christian novelist. So he has written some. He all his books are fantasy, science fiction, and he does a lot of what would you call it? Historical fiction kind of thing. He's done Byzantium, which is really good. He did I think it was called the Pendragon Cycle, which is amazing. I haven't read that in a long time either. I should probably read it. Which is about Merlin and Arthur. But that's a really interesting take because it starts off in the Isle of Atlantis, and it's a pretty interesting series of books. But I got into him when I was younger because that was like on the approved reading list by my parents because he was a quote unquote Christian author. But if you've ever read any of Stephen Lawhead's books, they're like PG-13, and he doesn't really put a lot of Christianity in them. I would look at it more like C.S. Lewis in the sense that there's symbolism in there in his books. But if you like Celtic mythology and historical fiction, I would recommend Stephen Lawhead. He's got most recently, I think he did a Robin Hood series. I haven't read that yet. Probably get into that next year. But I have fond memories of the Song of Albion series, so I wanted to go ahead and get that reread. So that's already on the Kindle, ready to go. So as soon as I finish up the Mistborn trilogy, I'm going to roll into that. And then after that, I think I'm gonna do the Amber series by Roger Zelazny because I haven't read the Amber series in 15 years probably. At least it's got to be 2005 since the last time I read the Chronicles of Amber. So that's pretty much my next. I've got my next few months kind of sorted out for reading, and then after that, like I've already said, I've got a list. If you're following along with this, I should hopefully remember to put the link in. I do have a Goodreads finally. Um, I've got my author page set up, and that links to my bio anyway. So if you want to follow along with that, you can check the link below to head over to Goodreads. Which leads me to my next thing. I don't know if I want to do this or not. I've had some people talk to me about doing a Goodreads blog. But the problem is I just have so many other things that I'm doing in terms of blogging with Patreon, which isn't related to it's not directly related to me. Um, that's more of what I'm doing with my brother and Chris with the work on Project Dramond. But a lot of what I cover, at least on like the Thursday updates, are things that are related to the book and the update and everything that I'm working on with Project Dramond. But I also have, the other sci-fi novel that I was working on prior to the starting of Project Dramond, which is about 40% of the way done. Um, I don't know. I don't know if I have the time to do it. If I did it, it would be like once a week. Um, why is my alarm going off? In any case, um, I don't know if I have the time to do it, but I don't know. I might. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Because if I do it, I might do it like once a week and just talk about some of the things I'm working on with the Project Dramond novelization and other stuff and just work with the module. But the problem is I don't know how much crossover there's going to be between the updates that I'm doing, which are for patrons over on the Patreon page, versus things that I want to do publicly through Goodreads. But I understand it's all publicity. I know something that I loved, and this is how it sounds weird how I never read Sanderson, um, because I used to follow Sanderson heavily on his website because when I found out that he was going to be writing the follow-ups to Wheel of Time, I, like millions of other fans, was immediately intrigued. And you could go to his website and he would have like daily progress updates. He had like a progress bar that would show how many words he had written for the day and how close he was to completing the draft, outline, or not the draft outline, but the draft percentage. If it was a 400,000 word draft, how close was he to that? Um, so I understand that there's something to be said for people being able to interact with their favorite authors. Um, the thing is, I don't have a huge fan base, so it's like, is it worth it yet or not? I do have some fans, which is great. Thank you so much, everybody. Obviously, people who have followed me over here from Saga Lucemia, people who are in our Discord, people who have picked up the book over the years, either one of the books, I should say. So I don't know. I may start doing something on Goodreads, but I need to read up on what other authors are doing and read some other people's blogs and see if it's even worth it, because I kind of feel like I'm already doing all that stuff over on Patreon, and with my time being limited, I don't know if it's worthwhile doing or not. Plus, I do these every week. To me, this is kind of I prefer this outlet because I don't have to write it down. I can just sit here in front of a camera and just bleh, and it's much quicker and easier for me to do it this way. And most of the writing I do these days anyway is with the dictation software because my hand is shot. Um, and it gets worse every year. At some point, I may go in and see about surgery, but I don't. Last time I had a consultation was years ago, and they said they couldn't really fix anything. But maybe things have progressed. Who knows? But in any case, we'll see about Goodreads blog. Let me know if you have thoughts on that below. This past week, I'm halfway through The Falcon and Winter Soldier. Watched the first 3 episodes. Um, it's okay. It's interesting. I kind of feel that after Avengers Endgame, I just kind of quit caring about the Avengers and the Marvel's universe. Um, Obviously, we did watch Black Widow. I'm gonna watch the upcoming Spider-Man. I'll watch the Shang-Chi or whatever it's called because they're movies and I'll watch them. but I'm not actively following along with the. Oh, and this also the Eternals is coming out, but I'm not following the storylines as close as I used to. And I'm finding myself not really caring for the Disney Plus shows so far. I mean, they're okay, but they're not like groundbreaking like The Mandalorian was. And I'm just doing them so I can kind of keep up with the timeline without, being hardcore into the timeline like I used to be. Um, I mean, we got the upcoming Doctor Strange movie. So many movies are coming out next year. It's going to be interesting to see. Um, we did watch a movie. This is going to sound funny. So, um, The Goonies was on Netflix, and I could swear because it's like a classic of the 80s, and I could swear I had seen that movie, but we watched it the other day, and I have no recollection of large swaths of that film. There was a there's like three scenes that I remembered, and then the rest of it I was just drawing a blank, which is like, do I just did I not watch this movie as many times as like E.T. or Indiana Jones or all those other films from the 80s when I was growing up? Because it's a classic film. But for some reason I don't remember most of it. So, in any case, we watched that, which was a fun that's a fun film. And I know I may have mentioned this a couple weeks back. We watched The Princess Bride. It was on Netflix, and Chris had watched it once before with me. Um, in English many years ago before her English was very good. And this time around, she was able to watch it in Spanish. And the Spanish dubs were actually really well done. Um, and she was laughing like a kid the whole way through. So the upcoming this week, I already made her promise that she's going to watch it again with me, only this time in English for a third time. Having just watched it recently, she'll understand everything that's going on, and I want her to see it in English because some of the rhymes, even though they were well done in Spanish, don't make sense in Spanish compared to the original. Anybody got a peanut? It's there's things that just they don't translate. So we'll see. Um, all right. Writing this week, this past week, I got chapter 6 wrapped up, and then worked on the module. And didn't work on the module today. Yesterday I worked on the module some more, and I got it. We're working. I'm going through the first part right now, which is that first episode from the playtest for those who are watching along. And I've already got them there. I've written the checkpoint scene with what happens if they get past, how they get past the checkpoint, and then what happens if they don't get past the checkpoint, and that they go to jail. There's a jail scenario which they missed out on because our half elf ranger rolled a persuasion roll and managed to convince the captain that that they should be just let go. Um, so that was quite fun to see happen in the playtest. But since I have to have that option ready, I'm actually that's the next thing I'm going to be writing is I'm going to write the jail scene, and once I write the jail scene, I just have to then write the finalization, which is them arriving at Thanon's smithy, and then I need to create an NPC list and some other stuff. So yeah, quite a bit of work left to be done. I mean, I'm going to be working on that all through September, October. So stick around for that. We'll have updates every Tuesday for the next 6, 8 weeks or so over on Patreon as I work my way through the module. And then I got to make some more maps, which I think I talked about last week as well. So, but I'll save maps till the very end. I'll do placeholder images where I need the maps to be, and then go from there. Chris is doing. If you didn't check TikTok, um, put a link in Discord yesterday in TikTok um, of her doing actual sketchbook sketches, not tablet sketches, um, for the chapter 6 artwork. I'm not sure if that's the image that she's going to use, but that was one of the sketches she's doing, trying to figure out how she wants that scene to look. So stay tuned for that because chapter 6 will be out on Patreon on Thursday um, this week. Um, Goodness gracious. I even had a nap and I'm still like yawning. It's 6 o'clock on the 19th of September as I record this. Um, I just did the first QA build. Joey sent me the first QA build on Friday night before he went off on Cub Scout camping with his son. I woke up at 4:30 on Saturday morning and proceeded to spend about 4 hours playtesting my way through the first QA build of the demo slash prototype. Now, it's not actually 4 hours long. I was bug hunting and QA testing, so I was trying to break things. So we've got basically 2.5/3 pages worth of notes for Joey. About half of those are polish things, like polishing up text, adding some more description dialogue here and there, um, polishing up the grammar. But the other half of that is some bug fixes and things that we have to tweak here and there. So we're going to be work. That's the goal for the next however long it takes, is just polishing up all the bugs and getting all that text polished, everything else, and then once we get that done, we'll be adding sound effects. So it's coming along. We're still waiting. Like I said, it's probably going to be. I was hoping it was going to be mid-October. It might be late October now. If it gets to the point where it's going to take too long, we may just have a different unknown lawyer do some stuff for us. We're trying to stick with people we've worked with in the past and people we know. Um, but his workload is proving to be untenable in the sense that we are way low on the totem pole because we're not, it's just paperwork stuff for us. Um, so we may just end up, if it's going to take too long, we may just do some of it ourselves. We'll see. Um, but we're still hoping mid to late October is when we will be able to unveil all of the branding for everything, and that's when we would drop the demo. We're not too rushed about it though, because at the same time, the more time we have to work on polish and everything else, the better the experience is going to be for everybody when we actually do drop the demo. But we did tease. I shared a video tease out for everybody, and was able to get people in to take a look at whatever what we have, or at least the first section. It's hard for me to estimate how long the demo is at this point. As soon as I wrap this up, I'm about to have Chris play through it, and we're going to see how long it takes her. I know me knowing all of the steps for the quests. There's not any puzzles at this point. Not traditional puzzles that you would think of, but it's mostly just quests that have steps. And there is a little bit of thinking involved, but most of it is self-explanatory. But I'm also the writer, and Joey's working on it too. So for us, it's kind of easy. So we're hoping to get a better benchmark based off of watching Chris play it. Watching my 6-year-old nephew play it, it has taken him 45 minutes to an hour to get through the demo that we have. I did a run through yesterday after testing. After I was doing all the QA testing, I did a run through where I ran around. I read all of the dialogue in every scene. So I, read all the descriptions for all the NPCs, all the wall items, everything I could. I did all of the dialogue options for all the NPCs, and I did all of the quests that are in the demo, and I did those in order. But I know the order that they go in, and I know how to follow this quest chains. So doing all of that, I got around 25 minutes of gameplay out of it, which is good because that would be it's not a speed run, but it would be what I would consider to be a regular run through. And when you look at the vast majority of demos that are released on Steam and so on and so forth, a 20 to 30 minute demo is pretty good. I would expect that players who have never run through it before are going to get 30 to 45 minutes if they're actually taking their time reading all the dialogue and actually paying attention and having to figure things out, figure out which buildings to go to, which NPC is for what, so on and so forth. So we'll see. It's pretty fun so far, though. Looking forward to getting that in everybody's hands. So, with that in mind, it's going to be a shorter episode this week. So, hopefully you guys enjoy. Don't forget, join the Discord. First link below if you want to hang out with us over there. Also, don't forget, again, follow along over at my Goodreads profile. If you want, you can follow me over there. Stick around, follow along here on YouTube. We got more stuff coming out this week. And of course, if you want more Project Dramond updates, you can head over to patreon.com/renfail. Check out all the information we got over there. Until next time, Stay safe, everybody. See you next week.